Good morning, everybody. Photographs are powerful, and I think we all have examples of pictures in our mind that were powerful. Well, on this date, February 23 in 1945, one of the most iconic photographs of World War II was taken, the raising of the flag on Mount Suribachi, the Battle of Iwo Jima. This map of the Pacific shows the progress we made against the Japanese during World War II. And if you look to the lower right of the Japanese home islands, you see the little island of Iwo Jima, which is where our event took place. So the U.S. Army and Navy is getting closer to Japan in 1945. And one reason we were was our Navy completely dominated the Pacific by the time we get to 1944, 1945. We were especially strong with air power. You can see these aircraft carriers. The Japanese Air Force was pretty well out of the story by the time we get to 1945. And we were punishing the Japanese homeland using B-29s, which were taking off from the Mariana Islands. So things are looking pretty grim for Japan. So here's Iwo Jima. Mount Suribachi is on the lower left of the island. That's where the flag raising took place. But that wasn't the victory. The fighting here took about a month, weeks and weeks after the flag was raised by the Marines. So when our soldiers hit the beaches on those Pacific islands, they were quite exposed to enemy fire. And one method that we used that was pretty effective was flamethrowers, either on tanks or carried by soldiers. This is an early version of napalm and pretty effective, but still with the Japanese hidden in caves, it took a long time to secure the island. The Marines had a magazine called Leatherneck, and its photographer was there on February 23 in 1945. And he actually took this photo. This is the first flag raising on Iwo Jima. The flag was kind of small, and they attached the staff to a water pipe that was there. And but it was decided that they needed a bigger flag. So a soldier went to a landing ship tank, an LST pictured here, to get a bigger flag to bring back to the top of Mount Suribachi because it would be more visible. And here's Joe Rosenthal, the photographer. He was assigned to the Associated Press. He happened to be there at the time. He was making his way up Mount Suribachi with this camera, the Speed Graphic. This was the standard camera for press photographers at the time. And he was getting set up when he noticed action off to his side. He just swung around and took the picture. And here it is. So he didn't focus. Now, he did take another one later, and this rumor started that he had posed this picture, but this one he actually took. He did take some other ones later where he asked people to look at the camera. 3 of the 6 soldiers in this picture died in the next few weeks. The picture was sent to Guam, where it was developed. It soon went to the United States, where within 2 days it was in the newspapers. That was pretty fast for the technology at the time. Here it is in the New York Times. And Franklin Roosevelt was so enamored by the photo, he thought it'd be good to use it for a loan drive. So here's a poster for the 7th War Loan with the Iwo Jima photo. And in 1954, when the Marines made their memorial at Arlington National Cemetery, the photograph was the inspiration for that statue, and many of you have seen it. And when the Marines had their 230th anniversary, the commemorative coin was based on the photo at Mount Suribachi. And of course, there was a stamp. As so often, our stamps recognize historical events. And in Nairobi, Kenya, there's a memorial that also is inspired by the flag raising by the Marines on Mount Suribachi. So it's an international image. Both of the flags are at the Marine Museum in Quantico, Virginia. So if you're down there, check it out sometime, the first and second flag from Suribachi. Here's Iwo Jima today, looks quite tranquil, but the site of ferocious fighting and one of the most iconic photographs of World War II.